Welcome into 5 on your sideline. I am Corey Miller, and every week we try to cover the most ground we possibly can to bring you the best high school football highlights in town.
That's right, Corey. I'm Annie Krall, and we have definitely done that tonight from Edwardsville to Ladue to Alton, well, to Wentzville even. We have the whole area covered. So, Corey, why don't you do the honors? Why don't you start the highlights?
Let's do it. After 2 games out of the state to start the year, the East St. Louis Flyers were back in town tonight. They went on the road to Alton. And they wasted no time scoring. Reese Shanklin to Cortez Rupert. He breaks some tackles, goes in for the score. Then Myson Cook Johnson, the junior, down the sideline, stays in bounds the whole way. That's a tightrope down there, and takes that one in for 6 of his own. Alton had perhaps the play of the game while we were there, though. Caden Robinson drops back, airs it out. Marquise Barnett is there for the catch, and he refuses to be caught all the way into the end zone. What a play for the Redbirds. East St. Louis won big tonight, though, 60-6.
Probably one of our best games of the night. CBC hosting to Sept, packed to the gills for this one. Cadets are going to get moving first. Quarterback Nick McClellan uses his legs. CBC gets way inside the 40. He's fighting for that one, but then McClellan tries to air this one out. It gets almost picked off, though, by DeSmet's Bryce Keener. Doesn't grab it, doesn't come down with it. That stops the drive, but Cadets would strike again later on, this time from the 7-yard line. McClellan rolls, slings it to Victor Williams. That goes up for CBC 7-0, but he wasn't done yet. Williams breaks through, hits the Jets, dancing past my camera. How you doing? Cadets score 14-0. CBC ends up winning tonight 56-13.
Nice little dance in the end zone there for good measure. Liberty at North Point was a classic third quarter. North Point leads 35-27. Liberty just inches away from the end zone. Selman Thornton powers his way across the goal line. 35-33, North Point leads. Next for the Grizzlies, it's Tavren Broner Williams. Rolling out to his left, he's going to find Mikel Campbell for the score. That puts the Grizzlies up 41-33. Now near the end of the third quarter, Williams rolls left again. He's going to bomb it out, and watch this. Jaden Flores is right there for the catch.
My goodness.
And a 60-yard touchdown. That puts the Grizzlies up 48-33 as North Point would go on to win a classic 51-43 on a field goal in the closing seconds. What a game.
Excitement right there. Corey heading over to Ladue, hosting Hazelwood East. Some back-to-back big defense to start things off. Ladue quarterback Jack Hensley gets wrapped up by Spartans' Elton Tella, ramming through the O-line. Ladue defense is going to answer, though. Emick McIntosh and Bass Dixon tag team, making Hazelwood go down in the backfield. Fired up about that one. Finally, Dion Hentz gets some forward motion for the Spartans, puts them within striking distance. Starting off the second quarter, though, Hentz finishes this one off himself. Hazelwood ends up going up 6-0, but Ladue wins this one in the end with a final score of 17-6.
Elite matchup in the Metro East. Edwardsville Mizzou commit receiver Devion Hill Lomax going up against Illinois DB commit Nick Hankins for Belleville West. Maroons and Tigers. Edwardsville going to score first here while I was there. Running back Brandon Houston Jr. Huge run that put the Tigers in scoring position. Then just reaches for the end zone on that one. That capped off the scoring drive. Then it was Hankins' turn. He's going to play DB in college, but look at these moves he has on offense. Spins, shakes off the defense, cuts all the way to the end zone. Despite pulling up right at the end with an apparent injury, he still gets in for the score. Edwardsville goes on to win, though, 48-30.
It was homecoming at Roxana. The Shells hosted the Eagles of Columbia. Good running tonight from Roxana. Micah Shorter sneaks through the Columbia defense. That goes for 6. Then for Columbia, Keegan Thompson is going to get the direct snap. He crashes it in for 6 of his own. A great play right here for the Shells, though. QB takes the hit, but gets the throw off, and Aiden Stem is able to make the catch in the end zone for Roxana. However, the Eagles fly in and ruin Roxana's homecoming, unfortunately, with a 34-29 victory.
Let's take a pause to spotlight the only 8-man football team in the area, really beyond the area. The Metro East Lutheran Knights are 3-0 for the first time ever. There are around 30 teams who play 8-man football in Illinois, but the closest one is over an hour away. The Knights have spent a lot of time on the road and building their program, and now it's all paying off so far in 2025.
Every play, there's really that chance for a big play just to see it, and I think it's more exciting. We get, usually there's more points, and we've been doing a great job getting our fans coming out, and that's just, the students have been great.
I mean, most of us have been here since freshman year, and it was really ugly back then. So we've been through some very low, and now we're gonna get through some ups together. It's really nice.
All the 4 years of hard work in weight room, and it's special for it to come together like this, and I think we can go far.
So let's do some 8-man football. Count them up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lutheran hosts to Blue Ridge tonight, and the Knights can do it on both sides of the ball. A host of green jerseys on that 4th down stop. Later, Lutheran's Lee Watson charges into the end zone. That's good for 6. More scoring ahead. QB Abe Oberhauser, who you just heard from, may have a cast on his right hand, but it isn't slowing him down. He goes in for a score of his own as Metro East Lutheran moves to 4-0 with a dominating 67-8 victory.
Tackle Hunger 4, sponsored by Neighbors Credit Union, your neighbor for life.
Somehow we're already at week 4 of Tackle Hunger, where schools face off to see who can battle it in the bins their hallways, collecting food right up until kickoff on the field. This week we have another trifecta in triumph. It was Orchard Farm going head-to-head with St. Charles West, and Incarnate Word Academy also wanting to participate in the food drive. It was largely a St. Charles rivalry this week, with students collecting hundreds of food items to be donated. Hygiene items also getting added to the mix. Student council, social media, and flyers being the main strategies to get the word out while their teams draw out their X's and O's heading into tonight's game.
We're continuing to post stuff and send out reminders for all of those clubs and all the students, and as the week progresses, everyone's bringing more and more cans.
We just want to thank our community for donating everything.
We'll be offering small incentives for students to persuade them to give back to the community.
Big reveal. Let's get to the tally. What a tally it was for week 4. Look at those numbers. St. Charles West had a big online donation. Orchard Farm was nearly at 4,000 pounds, and Incarnate Word was over 4,000 pounds. It was a grand total of 9,076 pounds that will help feed over 3,000 people for a day. What a showing in week 4. Let's get to the Orchard Farm and St. Charles West on the field, though. First quarter, it's going to be Colin Sinclair is going to look for a receiver downfield, but Maddox Sigma is there instead for the interception. Done dirty. West wouldn't capitalize, however, and Orchard Farm is on the goal line here. Sinclair's going to take this one in and just gets the touchdown, 7-0. Next for the Warriors, though, check out this run from Lee White. Breaks the tackle, somehow finds a way to zigzag through the defense to pick up a first down and then some. Orchard Farm wins big, 49-14.
Let's go to Busch Stadium. Cool moment to start the Cards Brewers game tonight. Daryl Kyle's daughter Sierra threw out the first pitch to Adam Wainwright. Big 5th inning for the Cards, capitalized by this Nolan Arenado bases clearing double. 5-1 Cardinals. Could this be Nolan's last few games at Busch? It's certainly possible. On the mound, Sonny Gray was great. 1 run, 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. Cardinals win 7-1. Hockey season is back. We'll check in with the Blues at training camp after the break. Judging by the amount of fans I saw out at Centene Community Ice Center for Blues training camp on Wednesday, this town is ready for hockey season. The Blues are back, but there are a few new faces to learn. The team was busy this offseason. The biggest splash was the trade for young defenseman Logan Mailloux from Montreal. The note also signed centers Nick Bustad and Hugh Suter. After almost 2 years out of the league following a domestic incident, Milan Lucic is a Blue on a professional tryout. There is a standard to uphold in the Blues locker room, and the captain thinks the new additions can fit into the culture.
Yeah, very exciting. Adding a couple centermen, adding a big right-handed shot defenseman that can move. So, love the additions. Most importantly, good people. So, guys that seem like they're easy to get along with, and people speak very highly of them. And when you have that element of it too, it's easier to add them into the group and make them feel comfortable and show them what the Blues are all about.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC is back on the road after finally getting a win 2-0 against Montreal last Saturday. It was their first victory outside Energizer Park since March. They're playing San Jose tomorrow night at 9:30. Last time these teams faced off in May, it was David Critchley's first win as interim head coach.
It's the battle for the Mayor's Cup tomorrow in Columbia, Missouri. Frank Cusimano and I will be there for it. Mizzou will try to reclaim the cup after last year's heartbreaking loss to South Carolina in the other Columbia. Gamecocks quarterback Lenora Sellers is expected to play. We just got word tonight that Mizzou offensive lineman Caden Green will not play. Here's Coach Drinkwitz on opening up the daunting SEC schedule.
it's a SEC night game. We've only had 3 since 2021, while others in the league have had way more than that. It's an awesome opportunity for us to take advantage of that. And but the reality of it is, the separations and the preparation you put in this week, and the most important thing we can control is have toughness Tuesday, not trying to play on emotions on Saturday.
The Fighting Illini take on Indiana right here on 5 on Your Side Saturday night. Both teams are unbeaten and ranked. The last time that happened was 1950. Head coach Brett Bielema likes the way Curt Cignetti has played the IU program and says a lot of similarities to his own.
The last time we went over there, obviously, the fallout from that game, was one that really hurt us and stung, but hopefully going to be better prepared on Saturday. I think we got a lot of really good football players who know how to play and have been excited to start Big Ten play, and we'll get that going this Saturday.
Very busy day tomorrow.
I mean, it's going to be. So who gets to drive, Corey, you or Frank?
I think I'm driving.
Thank goodness. We love that. I trust Corey with my life, honestly.
That'll do it for 5 on Your Sideline tonight. For Andy Kroll, I'm Corey Miller. Have a great night, St. Louis.